What's going on, you guys? TBR here, and in today's video, it's Saturday, so of course we're doing the Saturday Chat and Chill, and what else will we be talking about this week except for that developer's note giving away the information on the 3rd anniversary as well as the Dead or Alive collaboration. But before we get into all that, smash that like button and subscribe and hit the music. It is hard to believe for me that it is 1 week before my vacation, but here we are. So today we are going to be doing the Saturday Chat and Chill as always, as per tradition, and today we are going to be, of course, talking about the anniversary event, as Netmarble did give us that developer's handbook that gave us a bunch of information on what we can come to expect here in the next few short weeks. So let's go ahead and break that down in a little bit finer detail, as that video the other day I wasn't able to really get too much into how I felt about those things, as we did just use that as a way to cover the news. So let's talk about it bit by bit here. So the first thing, of course, we're going to talk about is the Dead or Alive collaboration itself. This was something that did not come as a surprise. I think most of us pretty much figured that that was a lock, with other things being slight outliers that were possibilities, but really Dead or Alive made the most sense. And so here we are, the waifu summer event here in the KoF Allstar community is upon us, and you would not believe that there is actually quite a few people out there that are actually not very excited for this. I'm pretty surprised by this. This is something that kind of surprised a lot of people, I think, because a lot of people pretty much assumed that this was going to go over in a big way. And from what I can tell, there is quite a few people out there that are not happy about it, and some people who are even offended by the idea that Dead or Alive 6 is a collaboration with this game in the first place. Now, I don't really understand the people who are that upset about this. I really do not get it. But then again, there's a lot of things in life I don't get, so hey, it is what it is, like magnets, how do they work? But when it comes to this collaboration, I am personally not all that excited for it. Now, that is just my opinion. I am not a big Dead or Alive guy. I never was. Whenever it came to fighting games, of course, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, Tekken, those were kind of my go-tos, and then of course Street Fighter and other things behind those were games that I played quite a bit. But primarily, I never really got into Dead or Alive. I was always aware of Dead or Alive. I even played a few Dead or Alive games. I never actually sat down and owned any of them and played them for any significant amount of time, but I do understand why the fan base would be excited, and I am very excited for them. As I always say, like I said with the 7 Deadly Sins collaboration, which was another collaboration that really did nothing for me on a personal level, I was about as lukewarm to that as I possibly could be, and even then I told everybody I'm just excited for the fan bases for these things. If people are excited, that's good for the game, that's good for King of Fighters Allstar, so that's good for me, and so therefore I don't really care one way or the other. I don't have a horse in the race. However, as per tradition, when it comes to these sorts of things, the people who are disappointed are always going to be the loudest, and that's where I want to kind of go with this part of this topic, and that is, I've had a lot of people mentioning to me that they're surprised by the outcry of people that have been upset about a Dead or Alive collaboration, and I think that a lot of people should just ignore that for the most part. I don't think you should really put much stock into when people are on the forums especially complaining, and the reason why I say that is because, to be honest with you guys, it's just like bad reviews or anything in life. People are more apt to, if they're upset, to go online and complain than they are if they're happy to go online and sing the praises of someone or something. So I really wouldn't put too much stock into it, because let's take a look at something here. I actually did a poll, and this poll here was asking you guys if you were excited for the Dead or Alive 6 collaboration. And as you can see here on screen, there were 563 votes, and by no means do I think that this is a barometer of how everyone that plays this game feels. This is simply just my community. However, 52% did vote for yes, they are excited, while 29% voted for no, and another 19% followed up with that, saying I'm excited because I can save. So when it comes to this, it's pretty much split right down the middle. You've got half the fan base that's excited for this collaboration, and then you have half the fan base that is really either indifferent to it or not looking forward to it at all. And that's what comes back around to the saying of, you can't please everyone, right? So, in my opinion, it's one of those things where if people are putting so much stock into the negative comments about this collaboration, at least more so than the people that are excited, I think that you're probably doing yourself a disservice and just kind of upsetting yourself at that point. Because to be honest with you, again, it comes back to squeaky wheels and all that. Nobody is ever going to be apt to go on the internet and sit there and write a praise post towards someone as much as they are if they're upset about something and want to just run them down about something. So it is what it is. I wouldn't put too much into it. I myself am kind of in that third category. I am seriously considering just saving, and I'm telling you guys that now because I don't want you to be surprised if I don't pull very hard on these banners. Now, don't freak out. It isn't because I hate Dead or Alive. It's actually because I am mostly concerned with the fact that I do think that SS King is a possibility, a very large possibility very soon. A lot of people feel this way, and this is something that a lot of people are concerned about. She has a huge fan base. I am, trust me, a card-carrying member. And so, for me, I would rather not get caught with my pants down if that happens. I would prefer to have enough saved up, stocked up in order to pull for her because I'm A5ing that character regardless of what happens. So that's just where I'm at with it. I'm not necessarily upset about it. That's just how I feel about what's going on with these banners. I just think that the climate that we live in now, we are at such a point where even us YouTubers have to really seriously consider how we're spending. And so that's kind of where I'm at. But again, more power to Dead or Alive fans. Congratulations to all of you guys. Now, there are other things that are coming along with this collaboration. We are going to be getting a new mode that is going to be pretty cool from the sounds of it, where you're going to be able to get a little over 5,000 rubies, it's sounding like, or whatever they end up giving us, but 5,000 rubies is what they've said. And so when it comes to that thing, that'll be pretty cool. Now, it does force you to just use Dead or Alive characters. Luckily, we are getting at least 2 free Dead or Alive characters with this collaboration that they've already confirmed. So it's not going to be anything that we can't do. I think everybody will be able to do it as long as they log in and they pick up those free characters. So that's not too shabby. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. It's kind of nice to see them put the effort in with game modes when it comes to a collaboration as opposed to just focusing on the banners. I'm more curious on a personal level if it comes down to it what we're looking at with cards, to be honest. I've said this to you guys in the past and I'll continue to say it. Cards, in my opinion, when it comes to collaborations and in general in this game, tend to age better. They get power crept far slower. Just look at things such as the Tekken set. So it's one of those things where, in my opinion, you should really always be focusing in on what the cards look like with these different collaborations, because the characters, we've seen it happen numerous times, they get phased in and out, they get power crept within months of release, but the cards tend to continue to be relevant. So that's something I'm looking out for. And like I said, that new dungeon sounds like it'll be pretty cool. Getting an extra 5,000 rubies will be nice. Hopefully they're not time limited. We don't have any confirmation on that, but everything about the collaboration itself seems like it's going to be pretty okay. I don't really have any major issues with any of it, if I'm being honest. And like I said, I'm just excited that anybody who wanted their waifu-filled summer event in the King of Fighters Allstar is going to get it. Now, there is quite a bit of other stuff that they talked about in this developer's note, and some of it was stuff that some people got really freaked out about. So we're going to talk about that briefly here. So one thing that did get mentioned is that we can now transcend battle cards, right? So what does that even mean? So transcending battle cards basically means, from the sounds of it, from what they told us, is we're going to be able to, I guess in essence is what this is going to end up looking like, is awaken battle cards. Now, it doesn't sound like it's going to be anything too bad because they say that you can just use the same grade card to do it. So really, if you have like a 6-star card, then you can use another 6-star card. If you have a 5-star card, you can use another 5-star card. So I'm not overly concerned about it from the way they worded it. Some people are saying that because of the Google Translation nature of things when it comes to the way they do things, and I totally understand that mindset, being that CM Iori is known for bad Google translations, that there could be a chance that that is some sort of lost in translation issue, and it could possibly be that they are going to require dupes. I don't necessarily think that Netmarble is that daft. Now, they might very well be, and I could very well be this wrong, but I don't necessarily think that they'd be dumb enough to think that way. And the reason why I don't think that is because they have to have at least looked at limited banners as an example and gone, do we really want people to have to pull on these card banners for 5, 6, 7 of these? No. And the other thing is, too, is they never said that there were multiple transcendent levels. They simply said that you could transcend the cards. So I don't necessarily think that it will even be a situation where there's going to be multiple of them right off the bat. Down the road, you never know. All bets are off. They can do whatever they want at that point. But really, all we have confirmation of is that you can do it once right now, and I'm sure that eventually you'll be able to do it more. But right now, it doesn't seem that way, and it seems like it's just going to be the same grade card, not duplicates of those cards. So if it's that system and it's laid out in that way, I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal. I don't really see why anybody would have many problems with it at that point. At that point, it's just another way to get rid of some of these extra cards that clog up your battle card inventory. So like I said, if it's just the same grade, not a big deal. Now, the next thing that they mentioned is we will also be getting a new dungeon, and from the sounds of it, this is actually something I'm really excited for because I like arcadey style things where you kind of run around and get random buffs. But the buff selector dungeon, which is still, in my opinion, such a lazy name, but it sounds like a cool mode. It depends on implementation. We've all been burned by Netmarble with these new game modes before, so let's be honest here. I'm sure we're all kind of just skeptical at this point as to whether or not it's going to be good, but I do have hopes for this one. I'm hoping that it's actually pretty decent. I've always enjoyed old arcadey style games where you run around and you pick up random buffs and things like that. That's why I'm such a huge Doom guy and things like that. I love that style of gameplay. And if that's what they're bringing with this game mode, then I really do see it being something that could be a whole lot of fun. And I think it would also be something that would make for good footage and for good videos for you guys. So hopefully that's something that they're able to nail. I don't know what the deal has been recently with the way they do these dungeons. It seems like recently all they've really tried to do is just make it all about making the CP as unobtainable as possible and just giving people things that they have to like slowly grind toward, which is fine if it's not done in kind of a dirty way or a unfun way, like for instance not letting people skip through things, which is just ridiculous to me still to this day when it comes to chapter a fight. That's my biggest issue, is we can't skip our fights after we've done them. Those tickets being locked behind rubies to me is just stupid, but that's pretty much what I'm looking at with that. We don't know much about it, so I can't really say much. But of course, the final point that was brought up in the developer's note that I'm most excited for, you guys, Epic Quest Volume 2, Chapter 2, whatever you want to call it, is coming. Finally, we have all been waiting for this forever. This is something that they have promised to us forever. It has been in development forever, and we're finally getting it. Now, of course, some people don't like Epic Quest. They wonder why those of us who are savants for it are always talking about it. Epic Quest is fun because you can grind characters, you can grind cards, there's a bunch of different items you can grind, there's things like topaz in there, there's challenges, there's all sorts of stuff that comes along with Epic Quest. Epic Quest is a lot of fun. It is something that keeps you busy. It's something you can grind on your own time. It's not something that is unfair. It's actually just a whole heck of a lot of fun, and I'm excited for it. That is something I've been waiting for a very long time, especially being that it is going to have characters like Ignis and Zero in it. Maybe we'll get new 3PG cards for them like we've had rumored. There's a lot of things to be excited about with this, and I think that by the time this event comes around, that is going to be the thing that most people are going to be talking about. But that is my opinion on the anniversary updates, you guys. Let me know in the comments section down below what it is you're most excited about. Is it just the collaboration? Is it just going to be the fan service? Let me know in the comments section. Next week at this time, it's hard to believe I'll be on vacation, but until then, you guys enjoy the video, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Continue.